Hello friends and followers. Well, here's the Cushman CE-6 that I picked up a few months ago at an amateur radio event in Denton, Texas. At any rate, I found this thing does work. It does receive, the oscilloscope works. This pre-selector works, which is great. I found it had no output. The output on this thing in signal generate mode is going to be a high-level signal and a low-level signal. The high-level signal comes out of a wide band amplifier, and the low level comes out of this pad. So you can adjust this pad for variable signal output to tune the front end of your two-way radio. So I wanted to get these working. So I do have the manual for this, which is great. And I just figured, okay, well, it's been sitting around a while. It's time to take it apart and see what's in there. So I did take all the screws out, well, a lot more than that, and the covers are all loose, so here's how it comes apart. You're probably curious what's in here as I was, so yep, and this is all one-handed stuff here. And now I can't get the covers off with one hand. There we go. Take that cover off. And take off this one here. And there's a speaker, so you just take the wires off for the speaker there. And the modules come out here pretty easily. The scope has a lock back here. You want to twirl that and loosen it up, and the scope will come right out. And that will give you some visibility into some of the legends for the boards in here. And then the pre-selector or whatever options in here will come out with the lock knob here. Undo that. Take it out. And that basically leaves you with, I guess they call this the main frame. So the rest of this basically is the internals that work this thing. And I've seen people call this the microwave casting right here. At any rate, I did finally find the fuses for the wide band amplifier, and that is over here. I also have the bottom loosened up, so we'll take a look under there. The bottom is really well done as far as boards. So now, if you rotate this, that little board right there is the fuse board for the wide band amplifier. All these boards are numbered. And I guess it's upside down, but anyway, the fuse is that little fuse in the middle. That's the fuse right there, and I found this thing on Mouser. That's a 1/8 amp fuse by Little Fuse, 1/8 amp. They don't make it anymore, but you can buy a substitute and just put it in there. So that's what I will do. These diodes all checked out good, and I think that will re-establish the wide band amplifier. So that's something I want to do. Anyway, this thing is built pretty darn well. Of course, there's a bunch of, sorry about the focus here. There's a bunch of sockets on the bottom of this thing. So this is basically a top of a motherboard for the bottom. Here's the power supply back here, and there's 3 voltages to adjust. I think there's -12, 5 volts, and there's maybe a -+5 volts and -12 volts, I forget. But there's adjustments for that, which you should do, which I haven't done yet. Anyway, the bottom flips right off, and the bottom has, this is the bottom. It has really, really nice legend of what is in the bottom. So those are all the boards, and the manual has all the boards listed as to what they are and how to fix them. This thing is really well done. I'm impressed. Anyway, let's flip it over and show you the underside of it. There we are. And you can see it's full of boards and stuff. Sorry about the one hand thing here. There. And let's match it up here. Bottom view. Which one's the front? Front. Okay. So here's the front like this. And I kind of am recording it backwards, but let me flip the camera, hold on. All right, so that's how it looks as far as the boards. And there are the boards. They even have an extension card in here, which is right here. Isn't that nice and well done? I mean, talk about a service-friendly unit. So you can pull this out, I suppose. Yeah, it pulls out with difficulty. Jeez. Probably never been pulled out before. And once this comes out, I'm thinking, boy, it's really stiff in there. You can use this to extend other boards and repair them. So really well done. Anyway, so that's how this all goes. So with that little extender, you can debug all these boards in here that need to be debugged and run your tests and make sure this guy is up to snuff. Anyway, this thing will do up to like 1 gigahertz. It's really impressive. So I really want to get it working. And I think now that I have this extender and I found one bad fuse, I'm hoping that just replacing that fuse will get the wide band amp working and find the fuse for the adjustable pad, and that may get this thing working enough for me anyway. And I'll want to calibrate it a bit, but really impressed by this thing. Really, really impressed. Let's put this board back in here. Back in you go. There. What else? Oh yeah, so I want to replace the light bulbs in the front. They're kind of burned out. A couple are burned out. I'm not sure how to access those, but let's see. Can you even see them? Yeah, light bulbs are probably way down in here with the switches. I'm not sure how to get to those, but they're going to be buried in there. Probably got to take the front panel off or something. I don't know. And do it that way. So this thing is built like a tank. Here's the power supply, and where are the adjustments? There's like supposedly some little posts here to measure voltages and do adjustments. I'm looking for those. I don't see them on the power supply side. Oh yeah, and it's got fuses too in it, a bunch of fuses. Let me see. So there's 2 fuses on the back, and then if you flip it around, and they got some regulators here that are well shielded, very nice. And if you flip it around, boy, something's loose in here, huh? I hear something thrashing around in here. Okay, flip it around here. This must be the crystal oven. It looks a little helter-skelter. And okay, so there's some little pieces here that are little covers that are loose. Those all go into here, I'm sure. All right, power supply, there's 3 fuses here. I checked these, are all good. I think all mine needs is the RF fuses installed, and I'm looking for the, that must be your master oscillator adjustment right there. And I'm looking for the regulation for the power supply, where that stuff is. Don't see it. Probably a real Cushman person would say, my God, you're stupid. This is where it is. Anyway, that's how this looks, and looks like the high level is here, going out there. It's all well done. So yeah, certain things are in this casting. Some people call this the microwave casting, and that goes all the way down to the bottom. So getting this thing apart would be a real fun endeavor. Little tiny screws, and how would you even access it? You need to clear off all this stuff, which I guess is possible. It'll be a lot of work. So hopefully I don't need to go in there for this thing, but it's an impressive unit. Let's see, what's this down here? Okay, that's more of the bottom tray. So this is just part of that tray on the bottom with all the boards in it. I'm really impressed with this thing. It's old. It's from 1975, but it was made to be fixed, made to be serviced. Call him up, man, Cushman, on Stewart Avenue. Say, hey, baby, fix my cush. My cush has hit the bricks. So anyway, yeah, this will be cool once it works. I like to use it to generate signals for receiver front ends here from the old radios I have hanging around here. So the FM part isn't that useful, but for me, but the AM part would be. This would also be cool to use as a signal generator to do AM broadcasting on AM radio. So I guess in theory I could go to AM signal generator here and put a mic on this thing and talk. That would be cool. That would be really cool. Use this thing as a transmitter. So maybe I can do that. How would I key it? I don't know. You don't want to keep doing that knob to key it up. I guess you need to put a wire in there somewhere to key it. Figure that out. All right, that's the mighty Cushman CE-6. Hope you're having a good Tuesday. Thanks for watching.